You may look at the video description and see that the recording date is on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, where I should normally be at school. Well, I do have school, it's gonna be held in the afternoon today in particular. So I would like to do the fun stuff out of the way first so I can focus without distractions on my examinations. I have no idea why I'm talking like this. I just really don't feel like talking right now. So, that's the last you'll hear from me.
Something a little similar. What we're going to do instead is make an episode on why everyone plays. As the name implies, why everyone plays is where I talk about characters who are super popular. You know, the ones that are used by everyone under the sun. Detailing what makes them so coveted in contrast to the characters that no one plays. To kick off the first episode, let's start with everyone's beloved Geo Daddy, Klee. While most of us know the extent of his power right now, there was a time where he was nowhere near as good. Klee, just like his lord, is a very mysterious individual. Unlike other guys who like to boast about their fighting prowess or give off this aloof and in some cases edgy vibe, Klee certainly stands out from the crowd, but when you get to know him for the first time, you don't really get the idea that he's this almighty ass-kicking god. His first impression wasn't too exceptional either. On release, Klee was pretty underwhelming. His elemental skill did very little damage, and his shield wasn't all that much better than Noel's. The only thing keeping him strong was his elemental burst. Relatively impressive in power and crowd control, but not enough to justify busting out the old Benjamins for him. The main issue with character-generated shields for Geo units was that it was only really good against Geo damage, and there aren't that many Geo enemies in the game to begin with.
Whoa.
Taking into account how important he was to the story as the actual Geo Archon, the Genshin community was disappointed in him to say the least, sparing no effort to harass the living hell out of Mihoyo to make him stronger. And after weeks of this taking place, they finally acquiesced, changing his Jade Shield from token protection to one of the most powerful single defensive abilities in the game. Alongside this, they went ahead and improved his overall
I leveled
damage
up the
based on
artifacts and
his attack,
sacrificed
allowing
some.
him to remain relevant in
I'll
damage,
probably
even though
regret
multiple
some
tanks
of
left
them
on him. Additionally,
one day.
they did a few system-wide buffs to the Geo element overall. Patch 1.3 was enough to catapult Klee out of mediocre status and into tier 0. To this day, he's
Alright, I want to try out Klee first, and then Yanfei.
Sorry for bringing up Spiral Abyss all the time, but he consistently ranks top 3 on usage rate, boasting a staggering 92% pick rate as of version 2.3, trailing only slightly behind Bennett and Kazuhan. His influence spans far beyond just that. Against every world and major boss, he's such a good choice to have on your team that he partially contributes to the whole reason why dedicated healers in Genshin Impact are seen as unnecessary. One might argue that his high popularity stems from the lack of representation in the Geo department, and that might be
I want to
partially
see how
true.
Klee works
The only competition he has to deal with
with
is
Dendro and the Elemental
Albedo
Mastery.
and Geo Traveler. That's kind of a shoo-in. Conversely, we have Diluc and Kokomi, who aren't bad units by any means. However, given who they have to contend against for a spot in your party, they look much less desirable relatively speaking. All the same, that makes Klee's popularity all the more significant. He single-handedly makes the Geo element good, at least before Albedo got his new fancy weapon. Against all the other top-tier elements like Pyro, Cryo, and Animo, the fact that he's tier 0 status only attests to how good he is. So without further ado, let's explain why. Klee's most defining trait is his ability to effectively trivialize 95% of Genshin Impact's already low difficulty through one word: base tank. That's not even an exaggeration either. He pretty much removes the need for you to have a healer on your team. Like most hack-and-slash type games, the primary defensive mechanic used to handle enemy attacks is by avoiding or dodging them. But the player's limited stamina requires them to dash only when necessary so as not to run out and leave themselves even more vulnerable. Klee's Jade Shield pretty much solves this dilemma altogether by making it so you can literally face tank almost every attack in the game. A well-built Klee with level 10 or higher Dominus Lapidus can supply you with upwards of a 10,000 HP shield every 12 seconds. Technically, it's only around 6 to 7,000, but remember, the shield gives you a 1.5 times damage absorption against all sources of damage, which then brings it to 9 to 10.5. And that's not including shield bonus from artifacts and his own passive. One other thing is that if you manage to get Constellation 2, his Elemental Burst is a brand new Jade Shield to you and nearby players if you're in co-op, and Planet Befall has a cooldown of 12 seconds. In theory, assuming you have enough energy recharge to do so, you can have a Jade Shield twice every 12 seconds, which means a 10k plus HP shield every 6 seconds on average. Even in Spiral Abyss, where you run into enemies close to level 100 on Floor 12, I have yet to run into a single instance where whatever I'm going up against is dealing over 1000 damage per second. And again, you can still use your stamina to dodge the big attacks while ignoring the small ones. It's safe to say that his Jade Shield renders you virtually indestructible against any domain, dungeon, or boss currently available in the game at the time of this video's release. Now, there was a new type of enemy released in version 2.2 called Rift Hounds, which can inflict a debuff on you known as Corrosion, dealing damage when you attack with shields, so even if you're stunned by Zhongli, you'll still be bleeding. But your
I might want the battery,
below 15%,
which case Raiden would be better. Raiden and DLM, you know, I use them all the time, and I already said that I don't like that.
Who loves to be below half HP to get her bonus damage. Funnily enough, I've heard that a few players intentionally remove him from their
I want to
team
focus on
because
Virgin,
he
so
makes
this
the game too easy to play, and I can kind of agree with that. But at the
could
same
go for
time,
Sakura
he is a
instead.
god, you know. I mean, not to completely disregard game balance, but I believe the Archon should be some of the most powerful units in the game. They're deities, it would be kind of pathetic if they were weak. Zhongli and Shogun are both top tiers in their own rights, and even Venti,
I am this.
Step 7 has remained to this day a very serviceable character, only narrowly beaten out by Kasuha. See, Genshin Impact's
Ready for anything.
Yeah, Jean and Klee together.
Damage, lots and lots of damage. We have yet to run into an area or boss or even Spiral Abyss level where you're taking so much damage that you need healers. The best support units right now are those whose central utility hinges on offensive augmentation. What separates Benek, Shincho, Kasuha, Zhongli, Xiangling, and Shogun from Barbara, Chi-Chi, Tonmai, and Kokomi, support Kokomi anyway, is that the former group supports the team through damage, not defense. Bennett's ultimate is an unconditional
Jesus
attack
Christ,
for
I
your entire
forgot
party. Shincho's ultimate
how
turns
good
any
Mona
character
is.
into a one-man vaporize, freeze, electrocharge reactor. Not to mention the swords themselves do some pretty serious damage. Kasuha can corral enemies together and augment
This is destiny.
and elemental mastery if you have a second
Oh, I don't have a bow in this
alongside doing
team though.
persistent damage. Whatever defensive elements they have, like regeneration or damage reduction, is icing on the cake. Zhongli's utility may seem largely for self-protection at first glance, but the best part is, he provides all of that defensive support with little to no loss of field time and DPS. Let me explain. Whenever you take damage from attacks, especially stronger ones, your character enters hit stun, also known as flinching or interruption. Against large clusters of enemies, you might get chain stunned if you fail to dodge the first attack, which hurts your overall DPS since you cannot act. The way shields work in
but team
Genshin,
already
any
has
damage you take is instead absorbed by
a
the
good
shield
setup.
as if you took no attack at all. In other words, you don't flinch. Moreover, when you're running around avoiding enemy fire, that's time spent not attacking. It's this very reason that shields are far
Is this
superior
supposed to be my Lisa
Genshin
team?
because it grants you super armor, so even though Zhongli's Jade Shield doesn't explicitly boost your attack or elemental damage, he allows you to face tank almost everything in the game, implying you don't need to waste any time dodging
Yeah, I'll
attacks, and
replace-
instead can brute force your way through everything. Oh, don't misunderstand, this man does bring explicit pain. One thing I have yet to mention about his Jade Shield is that it also emits an aura effect that lowers all nearby enemies' physical and elemental
who needs
resistance by
both?
20%. So basically, you do 20% more damage to them while the shield is active. That's just his elemental skill. Zhongli's elemental burst, Planet Befall, causes a literal meteor to fall from the sky with some of the highest damage scaling I've ever seen. That also petrifies all non-boss targets on impact for up to 4 seconds. Petrification is basically a freeze, by the way. So for 4 seconds, those guys ain't doing jack. Additionally, thanks to Dominance of Earth, all that HP you spent building on him to make his shield stronger makes his attack stronger as well. Most notably, a third of your maximum health is added to Planet Befall's already considerable damage. Do not underestimate how much that meteor does. It hits like a truck. Something you may have noticed about Zhongli's support capabilities is that they're currently not emulated by any other character right now. Yes, the Geo element is the least explored of the things available in the game, but even not among his peers, no one can do the same things that he does. For one, he's the only unit in the game with non-elemental reaction-based lockdown. To my knowledge, the only other way to stun enemies is through freeze, but that limits you down to just...
Why am I recording, actually?
Although, Child and Chi-Chi or I believe Ayaka and Shincho do this quite effectively. Apart from freeze, Planet Befall is the only other way to stun, stagger, whatever semantic you want to use in Genshin Impact as we know it. Another unique thing about him is that Dominus Lapidus can instantly destroy all or nearby if you hold the skill. I might be wrong on this, but I don't think the other 3 Geo characters can do this. And again, it's more of a convenience thing and not related to combat, but it's still nice for everyone trying to farm ores for weapons.
Oh boy.
And speaking of Thomas Lebanese, the Stone Pillar can block attacks without being too obstructive, unlike Geo.
Sure, I'll actually wait.
For this is against the Boss Child, who always opens up with a flurry of arrow shots. As if that wasn't enough, he's also one of the few characters in Genshin who has all useful constellations. In Wino Opus Amber and Kuchi, one of the biggest problems I mentioned were their terrible constellations, which, in their defense, only applies to whales, a very small minority of the player base, but is still worth bringing up. Unleash C1 allows you 2 stone pillars on the field at a time. That's 2 instances of geo damage, 2 sources of crystallize, etc. C2, as I talked about before, is a free jade shield with every meteor. C4 makes the meteor even bigger and extends the petrification by 2 seconds, up to a maximum of 6. 6 seconds of complete lockdown, that's insane. And lastly, C6 converts a portion of Jade Shield's damage into healing. So Max Constellation Zhongli all but invalidates the existence of Barbara, Kokomi, and Chiti in the healing department. His own regeneration effect can even counter corrosion. There's just so many things about him that make him valuable to have, whether you're in combat, exploring around the world, or going deep into Spiral Abyss, that it beggars belief if there's a single situation where he isn't useful. And as for my last reason, the most important reason of all, he's a matter of class, character, culture, poetry. What are the descriptive words of the CR there? Come on now.
Delve into destiny. Fate is upon you.
At least this guy is supposed to be a ranger. Sure, he is a college student, but he has a job. And let's not
That really hurt.
Personally, I'm a huge fan of the mellow and laid back that can kick your ass at any time trope character.
Go as planned.
Kind of like the other Star Wars, the guy who looks relatively harmless and is overall chill and gentle, but is the super crazy overpowered thing. Everyone plays Zhongli because everyone loves Zhongli. Like the character, it's a gameplay, but his personality, his status, etc. And no matter how much people deny it, Genshin wants it to some extent by the force that of the
Let me scribe.
He healed. He healed.
So far,
I didn't know they could do that.
Existence. In the previous video on the problem with Genshin's character design, I talked about how some units are just far too effective and versatile, which can potentially suffocate character diversity when compounded by Genshin's extremely unfriendly free-to-play environment. Those who don't have the wherewithal to get every single 5-star will save up their resources for whichever one covers the most amount of bases as possible. Zhongli is one such character. He's one of my favorite units and I use him almost 24/7, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't think that MiHoYo might have buffed him a little too much. Again, I believe the Archons should be powerful given that they're canonically the strongest entities in the respective regions, but does that mean they should eclipse every other character? Of course not, so it's largely a question of balance. Either way, fantastic character that unironically carries you through everything in the game. He's just great. That's gonna be it for today though. Let me know your thoughts on Zhongli in the comments down below. Actually, something I want to know is if you think he's too powerful, how do you think he should be nerfed so as to make him less all
I can't be bothered to waste time.
If I had to choose, I would say remove the elemental reduction. It's one thing for him to be the best defensive support in the game, but to be able to boost your party's damage on top of that feels like having your cake and eating it too. The player should be forced to choose between power or survivability, and not one people. Although maybe by that logic, then Shield should be nerfed in that same regard.
I swear by my sword.
If you enjoyed the video, I would much appreciate
Shadows of fate.
Subscribe for more content.
Decided by destiny. Germinate!
Well, aside from that, feel free to follow me on Twitter, join the Discord server, and check out the sister series of Why Everyone Plays called Why No One Plays if you haven't yet. Until next time, thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.
Genshin isn't responding.
Final day of versus
Propagate! Dumpy dumpy go!
Okay, I couldn't even actually use.
so little time. Smash the like button.
Take advantage of the 15 seconds of Dendro
This is the Twitch chat's fault.
and
I
Anamode.
should not have agreed to this, but here we are on
Sophia
automatic.
and Jean are supposed
See how
to
this goes.
give.
This is what I'm working with. This is my drift. And that is my acceleration. Alright, so let's see how it goes when we... Okay, so it looks like whenever we decide to let go of temporarily be injured, but a little bit tighter, which is good. So I gotta be aware of that. And sometimes you're gonna see me let go of A and take these corners very slowly, and it is just to make it work. Let's try to empower everyone on the hard section of the track. Want to hold it a little longer? We're using this immediately. This is actually so hilarious. This actually kind of works.
Okay, how's 45?
Bonk! Alright, we're fine, we're fine. Good pull. But I'm still
I could just go to the
Fire
abyss.
Ninja out here risking it all, just like me. I did not get a box. Oh, I did. No, I did get a box. We're good. We're good. Using this. I might get that range here. Let's see what happens.
Okay, no, it's just
I've never had so much
freaking.
interaction with a tree in Mario Kart game, but here we are. Not good.
Let me scribe.
Yes! We survived! Every single
Da-da-da.
game I feel like I don't see myself surviving very hard, guys. That was impossible. I don't know how I got in 7th place. Everyone just died at the end. I'm not complaining. Alright. Stone Cold 5K out. Final 10. You know what? We can make this work. And shouts to these other players. We got a Flame Flyer, we have a Sprinter, I'm off the edge. And I mean, we have some interesting vehicles here in the mix. Let's see how this goes. Best of luck, everyone. How am I supposed to use a golden on 200? I actually made that work. I got 4 or 5 boosts out of that golden. That's a record for the Blue Falcon. I'm just breaking every single time I'm using stars or any sort of mushroom or any sort of speed boost for that matter. It's not good. I think I'm gonna get out this race probably. Get it there, that's good. I need the bullet bill. I need the bullet bill right now. I got it. Amazing. Just gonna have to use it now. Here we go. Please give me a pass. One more corner. One more. One more?
Hopefully,
Yes,
once I
perfect
get
bullet.
the 4-star craftables, I can give
Say
the
one more.
other energy recharge bow Kujo
Go,
Sarah
go, go.
instead. I need this bat. Yellen does need the energy.
Amazing race. You're surviving. Alright. 8 points. And it looks like, unfortunately, Adrian and Fire G Ninja out with the cart. I'm gonna win this race. Here we go. Sure, you the box, but look how tight we can
That was
make this. Let's go.
the low energy, the
That sucks.
reduced energy
That sucks. Which
cost
sucks.
was actually
This
hurting
animation
my
sucks.
abyss.
Speed is pretty good though. Speed is pretty solid. Beautiful. World record lines. Can't be stopped. How dare you hit me? I'm on the Blue Falcon. You're not allowed to hit me.
Okay.
Alright, left the inside box. Thank you, Consider 5. Thank you. I'll take my triple red, and Autumn takes my
La
box.
la la.
And I'm in a lot of trouble now. If I'm being honest, I need this box. That's good.
Shadows of fate. Ha!
I'm just gonna use this.
Jumpy dumpty go. Da da da.
That's pretty good. I'll take it.
Why?
Let me scribe.
My goodness.
Delve into destiny. Go as one. Propagate. Yeah. Yeah. Boom. shadows of fate! Shatter! Jumpy Dumpty Go! La la la! Propagate! Delve into destiny!
Shield and or healer is definitely required for Klee without the distraction she causes, especially in the overworld. On account of all that mass destruction. Ooh yeah. Da 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 da. Baby baby. Da 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 da.
I'm Kelly McLaughlin, and we are the Dungeon Dudes.
I need water. Just nice to get quiet.
Welcome to our channel where we cover everything D&D. Guides for players and guides for them.
We upload new videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and ring that bell so that you never miss an episode.
Also, a big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. More about how you can help the channel out in the video. Today, we are going to dive into the December Unearthed Arcana release for 150, which has big changes to cleric, species, and many of the rules, glossaries, and spells. But today, we're going to focus on all those cleric changes, what to do in different classes, like the main cleric subclass, as well as some of the greatest cleric spells.
Now, this playtest material, which means that we won't see changes to a lot of the things that we're discussing today when the official release of 1D&D comes in 2024. This is a great opportunity, though, for us to give our feedback on what we're seeing in these playtest documents. We have already seen several iterations of the rules that we liked or didn't like follow through these documents and change or improve as they go. So Wizards of the Coast is listening to our feedback, and this is a great opportunity for us to help shape what the future looks like. There's a lot to discuss today, so let's get rolling.
The cleric is one of the big four classes in D&D, along with the fighter, the wizard, and the rogue. And so it is often a yardstick by which we judge any of the other classes, their subclasses, and their mechanics. The cleric is often looked at as one of the more straightforward spellcasting classes, one that we feel is quite accessible to players, and represents kind of the pillar of this style, while also giving a smattering of different types of spellcasting and magic through the divine spellcasting. So I think it's worth really taking a big analysis here and looking at what has changed, what's staying the same, and how they differ.
Now, along with a look at the cleric class, we also are going to be taking a look at life domain, which is also offered in this document, and seeing what changes they've offered there. The life domain is probably the most classic of the cleric subclasses, and although the cleric is known for having more subclasses than any other class in the game, the life is sort of the doubling down on what the cleric is offering by adding to its healing capabilities in many ways. So we're going to see what that looks like in one.
Structurally speaking, the revisions are both large and small. There's no changes in efficiency bonus or how many spell slots they have, but there's a big change in how many spells clerics can prepare and what levels of clerics choose their subclass and aid their subclass. There's also a brand new so when we start at the first level of the cleric, we're going to have our ability spellcasting. We're going to have our channel history. That's pretty great first level. But there is not no
Although we are shifting the subclass choice up to 3rd level now, they have added some additional features into the cleric at 1st and 2nd level to kind of alleviate the fact that you're now waiting to get your subclass. First and foremost, your channel divinity has changed in a few small but major ways. The first one is that now you can use your channel divinity.
Fucking hell. Had to be right the way until the very
Rather
end.
than once or twice, this now means that as you gain levels, you can use your channel quite a bit more than you previously could. They've also added a brand new channel divinity option. They've now added Divine Spark. When you use this channel divinity option, roll a number of d8s equal to your proficiency modifier and either use it to heal an ally or damage an enemy with radiant damage.
This gives every cleric a surprising, potent reserve of healing and damage options that scale with their level, so that they don't need to use their spell slots or either. I think that this is one of those really challenging low-level space where we have spell slots at first level. We aren't justifying using low-level spell slots on pure healing work. And so this means that right away at first level, you've got a spell slot free option twice per day, restore 8 each time, or even damage. Well, first of all, it's stronger than your release at first level.
What?
It scales that to and well, it doesn't do much damage that kind of roll or have that fighter. Eventually, it's going to be doing more damage than answers from roll. So I don't really like this. I'm glad that all clerics do.
I agree. I do think that although we talk about how healing isn't the greatest option often in D&D, at 2nd level, a spell slot can save lives, and that's the point of the cleric. And yeah, the damage might not be anything to write home about for healing. But you can run out spell slots and want to rely on your cantrips. This will outperform your cantrips at early levels.
Finally done. should be able to choose whether you do product or radiant damage. It's fine.
As a DM, I would allow my players to choose that.
I even think that expand further and say that different could have like if you are a canvas domain player on 4, you should like use power, whereas if you are like following key environment.
Yeah, yeah, that.
Shadows of fate.
Burn Undead.
Go as one. Ha!
So getting Undead right away is very powerful because it's to really shut down the lower.
No achievement for doing that.
The only other change is something that we saw in
There it
the
is.
previous packet with the bars, and that is the way that prepared spells works. Where does this go from spells? Like the bar that we saw previously, when you choose your spells, you have to be able to know the number of level spells that you use in the spell slot that you want. So if you're in the fifth level player,
Scatter!
you use first level spells, second
There
level
it is.
spells, you use third level spells. That's how many of each spell level you prepare. So while you're choosing your spells for the day, you're going to pick 4 first level spells, 3 second level spells, and 2 third level spells.
Now, if we actually do a little bit of a direct
Da da da.
previously clerics prepared a number of spells for character level plus their wisdom modifier. So a 5th level cleric with a wisdom 40 will prepare 9 spells plus the spells that get to from the domain on the later. In this case, the 5th level cleric is still going to be able to prepare 9 spells in total. But in theory before, you could have prepared 3 first level spells, 3 second level spells, and 3rd level. But now you have to prepare 4 first level spells, 3 second level spells, and 2 third level spells. So
Add
it's
Astra.
going to long term restrict the number
Thank
of
you for
items
completing.
spells prepared. Now what this does
Add
is that
Astra.
you still can't cast any or any more spells than what you did before. That's so fine. Just have less flexibility at your disposal, which I think is actually a big deal for clerics. Oftentimes, clerics like to pack those emergency spells that you might not come into play, like Revivify, or Dispel Magic, or Greater Restoration, or Raise Dead. Now it's a bigger commitment to bring those spells along. Our aforementioned 5th level cleric, before, you could very easily be like, I'm going to take Spirit Guardians, I'm going to bring Dispel Magic, and maybe I'm going to bring Revivify, and even if I don't bring Revivify, it's still a big deal. But now, that choice is much more meaningful. We choose, again, 5th level, 2 third level spells, so you have to be like, do I want to, I know I want Spirit Guardian, do I want to bring Dispel Magic or Revivify? You have to make that choice.
This is something that it seems that one day is pursuing this idea currently. I don't love that I lose that versatility. It might make it more interesting and it might make my choices more meaningful, and I should try it and play. But one thing I love about the cleric is being able to pack a bunch of spells that are the just-in-case spells. It's my favorite thing about being a support caster is that, oh, this weird random thing is happening.
Are you going to hold a
I have
festival?
the right spell form packed away because I was able to choose 3, 4 third level spells that happen to be somewhat niche, but when they come up, I'm happy that I have them back.
Once again, I think this problem is going to get way more pronounced as you get to higher level play. For instance, you will now
I won't hold you back.
You want your
Much.
6th level spell slot to Hero's Feast
So,
or Heal. That's a really hard choice, in my opinion, because those are really strong spells. Or for your 7th level spell slot, you want to bring Resurrection or Divine Word. Most of the time, you only get one of those higher levels.
I applied for vacation. You remember too,
I'm gonna
right?
bring Resurrection as a backup. I'm gonna bring Hero's Feast and cast it forward. But I know that the actual adventuring day, I want to have Heal and Divine Word and Sunbeam and stuff at my disposal. This is a nerf caster. And you might argue that a nerf caster is very good at flexible. That's of bookkeeping that's annoying as well. So we'll see how this pans out, but this is still one of those changes that I'm not doing.
At second level, we're going to gain Holy Order. This is a brand new feature.
Come on! That's not fair! My guiding stars!
To allow us to sort of
Observe!
what type of
Everybody stand back! Fire hazard!
categories. But when you gain this feature,
Ha!
the Protector option allows you to gain proficiency in all martial weapons and armor.
Unleash!
So now, any cleric
Your grand finale! Ha!
Scholar
The
is
fuse
going
is lit!
skill proficiencies, and you can add your wisdom modifier to those skill proficiencies as well. Kind of acting as a sort of close expertise.
Not now! Cold, mine to command!
Zero-level spell. I think all three of these options are actually really cool, and at the later levels, the player is able to choose 2 out of these 3 options. So as you progress, you could have
2 or 3 more
armor
fights.
and some extra skill proficiencies, or you could have skill proficiencies and an extra spell and an extra channel divinity. A little bit of customization here can actually go a long way, and I actually like that we've opened up the heavy armor proficiency option to all clerics.
I also really love this change. It's basically detaching what used to be a first level feature of many cleric subclasses from the subclass and just giving that as a flexible option for all clerics. So it gives you more choices. I'm a fan of more choices. I think that we could have way more than just the Protector, Scholar, and Optometrist. And I think it would be really cool if 9th level Holy Order was 3 new choices. And maybe one of them was extra. That I think would
Let's go get ourselves some answers.
You would have to wait till 9th level, but to play a melee cleric is something that's really compelling, especially when you have spiritual weapons, spirit guardians, things like that. Although you may not be able to combine those, as we'll talk about later.
I will protect you.
I do like that idea, and I think that we could branch out a little further with the customization of you want to play a melee cleric, a spellcaster cleric, you want to play a support cleric, or a damage dealing cleric. What's the vibe that you're looking for? Choose the 2 by 9th level that are going to allow you to bring that cleric to life.
And you could also have a little bit of hybridity in there as well, which could be a lot of fun. Because you get this at 2nd level and again at 9th level, I think that would just design a handful of extra options. And I do think
Benny's in.
9th level choice came along with higher level options. Again, I think actually having a lot of characters there get extra attack.
Quietly now.
Unleash! Leave it all to me!
Get out of here!
Third level, you get to choose your subclass. Not much
Gotcha.
at this point.
Ha! Cha! Ta!
Third level, so first level.
Unleash!
Talk about the subclasses, I think it's interesting.
Adventure time! Ha! Busted!
I must leave no stone un...
Quietly now.
Instead of destroying them right now, undead creatures of any kind with failure saves against your challenge will take additional rate damage. Will keep the number of 8, which is pretty slick. It means that destroy undead feature isn't just all or nothing thing. I found that destroy undead would basically be like, here is a bunch of low-level minions that are going to get fireballed away anyways. And so now it makes it a little bit
At 7th level, you're going to gain Blessed Strike. This is another feature that has been
Things are about to get dicey. I'm going in! Let's light it up!
And step! Break a leg! Steady as stone, as a good knight should. I'll catch up.
work! Huh? Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over.
You just kind of suck.
I must leave no stone unturned. A leap!
Gotcha.
That could have been faster.
Before you actually got a picture from yourself. Now you're getting the once again, this appears to be a class-wide standardization. All classes in Indy 1 are choosing their subclass at level 3, getting teacher at level 6, 10, and 14, and that's the progression everyone's snapping.
At 11th level, we gain Divine Intervention. We've seen this ability before on clerics. There doesn't seem to be any substantial changes at first glance here.
No, and now instead of having greater Divine Intervention where it works automatically, 20th level, that's it. So, I think the only major change here is that we're rolling randomly to determine how many good work.
Yeah.
Which is and as all the classes in the previous pack had, we're getting an epic boon at level 20 because the class capstone.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with...
I'm fine with this change. I'm just not too enthusiastic with what I've seen from it. The ones in this packet are a little bit stronger, but however.
So now that we've looked at the cleric class, let's take a look at the subclass featured in this document, which is the life domain cleric. This is a place where the changes are subtle, but a few of them are impactful. The first one is
Chivalry will never die.
spells that you get for the life domain cleric. Notably, because you're not getting
I'll bring my seasonings.
3rd level, you are not going to gain additional 1st level spells. You get additional 2nd, 3rd, 4th,
Different identities to choose from.
spells, not 1st.
This is a weird. There's another piece of weird. This is actually a circle and good. And I think they're the same way. There's a subclass until after level. For some reason, they don't do the circle of the land. And he actually first I think this is weird.
Busted.
And I think it's one of the
No, my sword!
Boba, get them!
There's no reason to get rid of them. It just
Leave it all to me.
after
Quietly now.
I guess it is a weird.
Take it easy.
But it was always a weird power. Put it back.
At 3rd level, we also gain Disciple of Life. This is the classic life domain feature that allows you to add additional healing to your healing spells. There is one notable change, though, and that is that this now only occurs when we cast the spell, which is going to take away from those of you who like to spam Good Berry or Aura of Vitality, which would have allowed you to gain additional healing every time that someone ate one of your good berries or went into contact with Aura of Vitality. Now, only the turn you cast the spell, you get 2 plus the level of spell cast in additional healing. Still pretty great, and although I love spamming certain healing spells as a life domain cleric, I totally understand why we're doing that now.
Here comes the catch. Let me weave you a verse. No, my sword. Rain outlines your...
Eat this! Out of the frying pan! I must leave no stone unturned.
Busted. Witness the power of Guhua. No, my sword.
As a dutiful maid would. I'll catch up.
10th level, we gain Blessed Heal. Now, when you cast a healing spell, you also get to yourself. This feature used to be at 6th level, it is now moved to 10th level.
And Supreme Healing, which is the feature that maximized any healing, didn't get to level 17 anymore. Now I got a level 14. So way more relevant. And I really like this change. It really smooths out the progression of the problem. I do think that reading over the life domain, seeing them broken out this way, kind of helped me feel like it's a little light. I feel like we get a little bit more. So,
I don't think it has enough life in it, you know?
yeah, it just
Feels a little dead.
maybe it's just that had now things like domain and early domain, where it just feels like it's got a lot less.
The subclass could use a bit of.
Again, though, it may very well be that dialing down from the power level of the piece in the in which case I think that overall, healing is not strong. So we need a healer. Party. That's but I do think that okay for things. And I think upon reflection, I would love it if the life domain had one feature that wasn't.
What else do they do?
I know it's a what else would they do, but it would be cool if they had a support feature that protected your allies in some way, but wasn't necessarily kind of.
I meant what else do they do as in like wizards. Tell us what else do they do? Like give us a broader scope of what the life domain cleric is. It might be asking a lot if we're looking at just this document, like we're not straying too far from what the life domain cleric already was, but I do agree with you that if the life domain cleric was a observer and had equal parts healing, protection, that could.
Once again, though, this is meant to be a pretty simple subclass and offer that option for beginner players or players who prefer something a little bit more easier to manage. So I'm not asking them to do any complex sort of this. It just feels like you need a little bit more. But maybe it'll pan out fine.
In addition to the revised cleric and the revised life domain clerics, we are also looking at a few revisions to some of our favorite cleric spells. So we're going to go over those as well and talk about how it makes us feel. This is a place to share our feelings.
Yeah. So 8, one of our favorite spells, classically increases character maximum and works on up to 3 party members. Changed in this packet that it now works on up to 6 characters, so double the number of targets, no party in there, but it only gives them temporary.
This is a bummer. This is a huge bummer because Aid used to have, and maybe this is exactly why Wizards of the Coast did this, so I understand if we're trying to balance power, maybe, but Aid used to pair really well with a spell like Hero's Feast, because Aid just added increased your hit point maximum, whereas Hero's Feast added temporary hit points. These two things could stack. We were all happy about it.
And then heal back that hit point maximum. Now once the temporary hit points are gone, they're gone. So, and I really like how you can stack it with Inspired Leader and Hero's Feast and other temporary hit point stuff, and all that fun combo playing is just gone with this change.
The fact that you can't heal it back up means that this spell's longevity is very limited now.
Yeah, it is. It's very much a spell where, let's give you the most temporary hit points for the whole party. I feel like if this is the change we're going to go for, I feel like and I feel like it should scale a little bit more. I think it's worth it. Not a fan of this change.
The next spell that they've changed is Banishment. Classically, this spell allowed you to banish a creature to another plane of existence for 1 minute. If it was a creature that was from a different plane of existence, they might never come back.
Change here, though, is now they're getting a saving throw at the end of each turn to shake off the damage. Previously, nothing like this happened with Banishment. Failed the initial save, you were on for that full minute, and after concentrating on a minute, and the target was Elemental Ray or Fiend, Celestial, they were out of it. So this change is a big shift. Because banishment always existed in conversation. Hold person and hold work on a creature of any creature type. But the trade-off with banishment is that the target is removed from the battlefield, so it can't be attacked in a safe pocket limit. In fact, it's at full hit points and undead. Whereas with hold person and monster, the target's paralyzed, that means that the party gets to attack it while they can't fight back or protect itself in any way. I like the choices that we had with that, but now banishment is not replaced. It's a 4th level spell, so we're going to head hold person. So I'm not going to cast banishment on a humanoid because upcast person targets spell level and actually not lower. And monster is a 5th level spell. And while it again it only affects one target, again I can still not lower. So this puts banishment in the wrong place.
I also don't like this change. I think that the expansion
Quietly now. Things are about to get tight.
Spring forth! Ha! Blow them all up!
What's the food? I meant to spread first.
Ha!
With G. I forgot G. Under rotation.
Yeah. La la la. Woo!
Wind, hear me.
As a DM, maybe I can say, oh good, my monster
Ha! Busted.
Propagate!
no new party has vanished. Relics, extra monsters, planning damage.
Take it easy.
It doesn't
You know
feel
what? I
right.
feel like here.
Hi-ya!
Really?
Scatter!
Game's up. Fun's over. Barely a script. Barbados, guide us.
Blazing delight! Boing, boing, boom! Pew! Ha! Da da da! Yeah! Hi-ya!
Next
Gee,
up,
derpy!
we'll look at is guidance. It's also
Take it easy.
this packet is reaction, but it
Go as one!
Wind, hear me.
short rest, I think. And this packet is
Cha, cha. Things are about to get tight.
and guidance.
Dumpty dumpty go! Pew! Hi-ya! Boom! Maxi flash! Ha!
Klee excels more in crowd control.
Reaction, and now it is a reaction. My complaints about it are gone. I recant. I apologize. This is the one true way. Keep this change. Take some.
Let me swap things out.
I agree. I think that this is just going to make it more useful at the table. It was already one of the go-to cleric spell list cantrips, but now I just feel like it's more useful. The spell Prayer of Healing has also gone through a bit of a revision. Now when you cast a spell, you choose a number of creatures equal to your spellcasting ability modifier, and they gain the benefits of a short rest and each gain 2d6 hit points, all in the span of 10 minutes.
So I think there was a spell that attaches clerics called Cat.
Yeah.
That was a 3rd level spell that worked the same. I don't think I've ever seen.
No.
I think that this was the spell slot. I would like to playtest a tool that doesn't cost a spell slot. I like the idea of having a party member that, like, hey guys, once per day I can give this a short rest. Rather, it's kind of like that weird thing of like, you want to rest 10 minutes instead of an hour. Well, you have to spend a spell slot. Which I personally feel like, in most cases where characters have hour.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. No one would actually really sell this if instead of 10 minutes.
Hmm. Yeah, Ayato would have been great to have.
Dungeon,
Unfortunately, I don't have him.
Or the door and
Yeah.
squeeze in a minute rest. But yeah, if usually if you have 10 minutes of uninterrupted time, somewhere safe.
Yeah. So maybe actual play. Tell us your experience with this. I neutral on this change. I wasn't very.
I'll protect us.
Illusion shattered!
Spell resistance has
Share my knowledge.
saw in guidance that this height was
Ready, steady, go!
Inazuma shines eternal!
Committed to memory.
Motion to compel! Time for your arraignment!
This might hurt a little. Make yourselves at home.
Shine down!
Let's dance.
Now you shall perish!
Ow.
Ha! There is no escape!
Grow, grow, grow.
Instead it's
Jerry.
Now, next we come to Spiritual Weapon, one of my favorite spells in the entire game. On the Cleric, I love the idea of using Spiritual Weapon.
Okay, so Virgin doesn't work.
And having all the fun a Cleric can have. But
I
not
think
anymore.
Melt and Vaporize would be better.
Spirit Guardians now requires concentration.
That small detail. I read the spell and thought, oh hey, this is pretty much the same. I love this spell.
Massive thumbs down.
Requiring concentration, I understand why, from a certain point of view, that Spiritual Weapon and Spirit Guardians together was kind of the OP play for a Cleric. But it was so fun. It was so fun. And taking away my fun. Was it imbalanced fun? I don't think it was.
I mean, it's just maybe its damage has to go up. Concentration base. Get more damage, that would be fine because that would be more comparable to and permanency. Which are also like the second level concentration ongoing damage dealing spells. I like fire concentration. Cool, and I like combos, and having a couple spells that are combos.
I presented this change to the Cleric playing at my table, and they were unhappy with that idea, and I, as a DM, am going to house rule that if this change stays, Spiritual Weapon is not concentration at my table, and it never will be.
Now hold on. Just remember that there's going to be a lot of other spells that change. This might not be a final draft, and might be other changes to other spells that are damage dealing options. We already have Fine Card, change Holy Order, we change damage of Divine Strike stuff. So it might not be the total end of the world that have change happen. But still, it was fun. Like Spirit. Thumbs down, but maybe it's not so much that it's worth it.
We'll see.
So that is everything that has changed about the Cleric class and some of the Cleric spells. There's a few spells that have moved their spell school in the spell list, and there were a few other changes to the glossary, and of course the big change to species and the way races are presented in Dungeons & Dragons 1. So we'll be talking about that in our next episode on this, so stay tuned for more of that. But overall, I'm pretty good about this.
I feel good about several aspects of it. Some of the spell changes are sad to me, but the overall changes
Makes me sad.
the overall changes to the Cleric, though, actually for the most part seem kind of cool. I like what we're getting at first and second level, and the small changes to having more abilities come online in certain places, it seems generally like the cleric is actually moving in a cool direction, so I appreciate that.
This is nerfs. Like, these are nerfs. Things that are a definite, like, oh, this is less powerful. And so maybe those power balances, there is a disclaimer at the start of the document. The power balancing might change. So that is one thing that, how that'll all fall out. I'm optimistic. Pretty backward. Despite the fact that the clerics are changing what levels they are, pretty big. Like, that is the biggest barrier for backward compatibility with previous subclasses third-party content, because it means now that clerics changing what level subclass and what level could be a big deal.
This is complete speculation, but I foresee that with the backwards compatibility option of 1D&D,
There is still one last pyro character I want to try
very
out.
large player's handbook come out that has a revamped version of all of the player-facing stuff.
I'm going in! Swirl, Mark II! Born of ice and frost. Glaze over. Inadmissible evidence! Absorption test. Stand clear. Absorption test. No touching. I can fix this.
Now, at the same time,
Next on the agenda.
that have a cleric from whatever
Get out of here! Teamwork is dreamwork!
playing along
Animal test 6308.
and they're both going to work.
Here's actually very perfect. That goes down to 4.
Absorption test.
Let's light it up!
Animal test 6308.
Huh?
Enhanced animal module.
Let's light it up! Couldn't break the curse.
Yeah, well, that's to be expected. They can't work on 412.
Or with backwards compatibility. I don't know about that one. That actually is, as a DM, that's a thing. Like, that's a thing.
But,
I
they're
mean,
good.
If we're releasing a book with only 4 subclasses,
Now for the last character I want to try out.
The full subclasses.
You're still gonna be able to use them.
I'll just go to floor 10
The
instead.
backwards compatibility thing is gonna have to be a download that says, like, okay, clerics, whatever feature you use to get a level 1, level 3, whatever feature you use to get at level 3, now get that level 6. Like, channel divinity is what you get at level 6, you get a level 3, and move other things you got at level 6 to level 10, and whatever you got at level 7 to 14. So it seems like there's an order of operation for learning that is pretty, but it's
Diluc.
still like instructions required.
I'm remaining optimistic, but there are certain elements of these documents that just are going to make me miss 5th edition. It's going to be interesting. So we'll see how it all comes out. Again, there's still a year and a bit before we really have to worry about it. And what we're seeing is people's initial thoughts. Monty and I have created content for in the past, and I'm not going to lie, if I showed you my notes on what I was working on a year before they were actually released, you would have been like, no, none of this makes any sense, and this is all kind of garbage, and your balance is out the window. And yes, I realize that. So if we think as creators of the fact that there's a group of creators who are showing us their work in progress a year before it's finalized, I am still hopeful that that is them being like, alright guys, I got these ideas going on. What do you think? And where should we go? Like, what direction works?
I still just don't know, like, some more
Huh?
Like,
I'm going in! Rain cutter!
Animal hypostasis and you...
Time for retribution!
Freaking flag.
Rain outlines your fate.
That feels like a really important, like...
I see them like elemental flare.
That's too generic. Like,
What they have to be generic with all
I guess with 4...
Stand clear. Animal test 6308.
Teamwork is dreamwork! Let's light it up! Let me weave you a verse. Time to act.
Verdict is...
This is where
Absorption test.
Witness the power of group. Everybody stand back!
Enhanced animal module 75.
Time for retribution!
light and twilight.
Okay, that could be way better.
I don't know.
I think I should have Sing Chu out first instead of Banner.
Anyways, tell us what you think about that in the comments below.
Rain cutter! Teamwork is dreamwork!
Swirl, Mark 2.
Verdict is...
No, my sword!
Stand clear. Animal test 6308.
Thanks so much for watching.
Stand clear.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword! I'm going in! Witness the power of Guhua!
Time for retribution! Here!
Time to act. Rain outlines your fate.
That's pretty decent, I guess.
Propagate. Germinate.
Gotcha. Here comes the catch. Barbados, guide us.
Blazing delight. Boing, boing, boom. Dumpty, dumpty, go.
Busted.
Scatter. Score is one.
Things are about to get dicey. I swear by my sword.
Ha! Boing, boing, boom. Ha! Yeah. Ha! Scatter.
Quietly now. Gotcha. Let me weave you a verse. Teamwork is dreamwork!
Animal hypostasis and you...
Verdict is...
Know my sword!
Absorption test.
Rain cutter. Ha! Everybody stand back!
Animo test 6308. Absorption test.
Time for retribution! Ha!
Damn it.
Fall before me! Fall before me! Ha! Ha!
Let's light it up! Body in the... Huh?
Scatter!
Game's up. Fun's over. Barbados, guide us.
Blow them all up! Boing, boing, boom! Boom! La la la! Da da da!
Yeah,
Quietly
let's
now.
already ran out of the spot.
Propagate! Ha! Ha! Dumpty dumpty go! Ha! Ha!
Gotcha.
Yeah, Klee could definitely use.
Off we go.
are not
Well, let's light it up. Let me weave you a verse. Rain outlines your fate. Huh?
Enhanced Animo Module 75. Don't break my glasses.
I'm going in. Huh?
Animo test 60.
Verdict is... Ha! Ta!
Witness the power of Gugwa. Rain outlines your fate. Teamwork is dreamwork.
That's
Ha! Ha! Time for retribution! We'll meet again. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Right there.
Rain cutter.
Animo hypostasis emulation. Animo.
I'm going in. Huh?
Ha!
Ha! Spring boy.
Here comes the catch. Busted. I swear by my sword.
Blazing delight. Boing boing boom. Da da da.
This is Her Majesty's gift. Gotcha. Chop.
Over here.
Things are about to get dicey. Wind, hear me.
Cool down.
Dumpty dumpty go.
Oh, now you've got me worked up. Quietly now. Good.
Majesty's power flows through me. Scatter. Go as planned. Germinate.
Frick.
Monster. Blow them all up. It was an accident. Propagate. Let me amuse you.
Busted.
Maybe I just need to find better teams. Diluc still needs more. But he's already pretty good as he is.
Dodoco? Whenever you need me, I'll be there.
I'm satisfied.